Should men ever enter into monogamous relationships? Monogamy, commitment, marriage. What I mean, they're all synonyms of each other, right? But what I mean is like one man commits to one woman, does not sleep with anybody, or both partners don't sleep with anybody else, right? Now, there's different layers to this. There's like there's like normal people, like should normal people do it? Then there's like very successful men, and then there's also very successful women, right? And this is a topic that's kind of been coming up for me in real life right now because it's like the more successful I become, the less kind of monogamy makes sense. And then you know all these like not red pill dudes, but like very successful guys in like the manosphere. They're always like, you can never commit to a woman. Closed on her end, open on my end. And then when you see that type of stuff as like a regular guy, you're like, you can't really conceptualize it at all. But now that I'm becoming more successful as I get older, I don't, we'll explain. Let me explain. It's like, I'm kind of starting to see the other side of the fence a little bit, and we're going to explain that in this video. And maybe you might want to think about it as you go through your journey as well. If you like this content, scroll down, hit the subscribe button, pause the video right now before we continue. Do it right now. Scroll down, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. I'm going to start mentioning that subscribe button throughout the damn video from now on. Okay, so what brought this about? Let me explain how this came to be this topic, right? So, when you are becoming more successful, this goes for men and women, but when you're becoming more successful as a person, when I say successful, I mean like generally wealthier, right? You start to tend to, well, there's the old adage that's like, it's lonely at the top, right? And basically what that is they say most human interactions are transactional, but then you slowly start getting to a point where you don't need to transact with other humans anymore. Like you don't need them. Like you don't need to. Like my car is broken down. I'll just pay the mechanic. I don't need mechanic friends. It actually saves you time not to have those friends because the more successful you become, the more your friends will use and abuse your skills and not pay you for your time. So then you eventually start to depart yourself away from your friends, right? So how this relates in relationship context and the whole monogamy thing and like marriage and all this shit. So let's say you're a guy who's a multimillionaire, right? And you just don't need to transact with other humans, right? You meet this girl and you genuinely, like, you just like care about her, you love her, all the good stuff, right? And then you don't actually need anything from her, right? The only thing you really need from her is like, not need, but the only thing that you want from her is like companionship, good vibes, good sex, fun, a good time, right? You don't need her to help you pay your bills. You don't need her to clean your house. You literally don't need her for anything other than companionship, right? So then this is kind of where this whole issue arises, right? So if the transaction there is companionship, well, what happens when she can't deliver her end of the bargain? What I mean is like, people have lives, people get stressed out. So you as the successful man that has millions of dollars or whatever, you're very rarely stressed out about shit. Like you're not really, it's even hard for you to relate to common people anymore because like let's say your water boiler blows up. $5,000 to fix it doesn't really stress you out as much as it used to, right? Your car breaks down, your transmission blows up, $2,000, $3,000. To a normal person, that's very stressful. To the successful man, not that big of a deal, right? You got bigger problems that you're trying to worry about, right? Scaling your business and shit. So let's say you care about this girl and you enter in a monogamous relationship, right? And then what happens? The only thing that you're there for is companionship because you don't need anything else. What happens if her life stresses her out? Then you start getting into some murky ass waters, man. So it's like, okay, and again, now I see why everybody said, this is actually kind of one of the reasons why you should never get married that kind of nobody talks about. People only talk about the consequences of divorce and getting half your shit taken. But there's more subtle, like, toxicity that nobody talks about. So let's say you marry this girl, and this is also why you don't want to move in with them either. We'll explain the whole structure in a second here. So let's say you're in a committed relationship with this girl. You love her. She, let's say, something non-financial. Let's say, just like dumb shit. Like, let's say she got into a fight with a coworker, and there's like drama gossip at her office or something like that. Just some dumb shit. It's nothing that you can really fix or help her with. It's just like dumb shit that's stressing her out. And now like the boss is like hauling her in the next day for her $20 an hour job. And you're just like, I don't care about any of this shit, right? I just don't care. I don't care about any of it. But she gets so stressed out over all these minute things that you actually can't help her with. And then she has trouble showing you affection now. She has trouble being a fun companion. She has trouble, because it's not her fault. She's stressed out, right? The sex isn't as fun. She's not as adventurous. She's worried about going to work on Monday. Just all this shit. So then, you gotta sit and think. You're like, well, it's like you care for the girl, but you're also like, this isn't my problem. The transaction that I'm here for is companionship. And then, and now, because her life is stressing her, or like her mom or her in-laws or whatever, so now her life, or what's the circumstances of her life, are stressing her out, and now she can't be a good companion to you. So now what do you do? What do you do? So like, especially if you're married. So it's like, your options are to leave, to cheat on her, you can't communicate the problem away. The whole communication thing is, we'll do another video on communication in another video, but it's like, by entering into this monogamous relationship with this girl, you've kind of like trapped or prison caged yourself into this situation where the companionship needs that you want are at the mercy of her circumstances and her personal life. That's all that is, actually, if you think about it. A commitment to one human is a commitment to, I guess that's what they call a ride or die. Here's the thing, a woman would never do that shit for you either, though. So that's kind of why we're bringing this up, right? If you fail to be let's reverse the roles for a second. Your girl gets to stay home all the time. You're bringing home the bacon. You are doing all the work. You're providing for the family and all that shit. You are stressed the fuck out. And you're a bad companion. This actually happened in my in my ex marriage here a little bit. So like you're a bad companion. And it's not her fault that you can't manage 16 hours of stress a day. You're just the man. You're just expected to do that, right? You need to be good vibes at all time. You need to never show weakness. And you need to never show that you're struggling. But you also need to work 16 hours a day. Fucking kudos, man. So anyway, what's she gonna do? Her needs of companionship are not being met, right? Well, technically they're not being met. So she can cheat, she can leave, she can... Because what? So the argument that I'm trying to make here, that the topic that I'm trying to talk about, actually works for both sexes. So like I'm actually curious to see if anybody has a solution to this problem, right? And it's like the first answer is obviously like, well, how long is the turmoil? Like if the turmoil is like 2 weeks, then grow the fuck up kind of thing. But what if the turmoil is like a year or two? What if you haven't been getting companionship needs met for a year or two? But you're still married or monogamous to this girl, or you live with her or whatever, and what are you supposed to do? You're like, well, shit, I can't cheat on you because I'm committed to you. That like goes against my ethical code. Maybe I'll just go cheat anyway. Maybe I'll have emotional affairs. Maybe, like, what the fuck, right? It's such a trap, dude. And again, the reason why this whole thing came up is because the more successful you become as a man, the more you just don't care about another person's problems, and you want the transaction to be equal. So it's like, I'm dating you for good vibes. If you have issues in your personal life that prevent you from giving me good vibes, then I should have the right to find the good vibes elsewhere. And then apparently, I don't know this, but apparently, at the highest of levels, like we're talking like Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, I guess like the Epstein bros, like all these like super elite multi-billionaire like they all get like prostitutes and shit and like hookers. I'm pretty sure Bill Gates actually got caught for being with like a Russian hooker or some shit. And then you got to think, this problem that I'm describing seems to go all the way to the top. Or why do older successful women date young like boy toys, like 20-year-olds, for the exact same thing that I'm talking about here, right? Because when you're like a multi-billionaire elite guy, sure, okay, so I can like listen to this girl's problems about her gossip at work to get companionship, or I can just pay a hooker $200 an hour, or whatever the hell it is, and I know that for that money, I'm going to get the companionship that I want. In fact, the hooker is going to be stoked to spend time with you because she's making a killing doing it. So now you're actually getting better companionship for your time and dollar by getting the hooker. So then, when you see this shit, you're like, oh my God, is that my future? Like, is this where this is going? So then this entire thing keeps coming back to this notion of leverage in relationships. And it's like one of those things, man, where it's like, once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. And it's like, the more leverage you have in a relationship, the more you just get what you want. And then on the flip side, it seems like, which it's so shitty to say, but it's like the entire notion of monogamy, marriage, and commitment only serves to benefit, or it only serves to transfer leverage to the individual with less of it. That's all it really does. Because in this example, let's use a very successful, powerful woman, right? Very successful woman or a very attractive woman. Well, she starts dating a younger guy or she starts dating a beta male. What do beta males try to do? They try to get commitment from her. Why do they do that? Because they don't know if they'll ever get another one of those girls again. They want sexual exclusivity. They don't want her to go around. They don't want her to maybe find a better guy than them. So that guy is in a position of less leverage. Whereas an alpha male or a Chad, he doesn't care. He doesn't go and ask her for commitment. The person with more leverage never goes and asks the person with less leverage if they want commitment. Does that make sense? So then, let's go back to like the whole like red pill manosphere thing, where they always say a man should never be monogamous and he should always have options. It's like I kind of see what they're talking about now, because like I'm in this how do I describe it? I'm in this like weird transitionary phase, or this weird transitionary period where like I have the values of traditionalism, where like you're monogamous, you're loyal, you're honorable and all that shit. But at the same time, I see what the red pill talks about, where like, well, what's the point of, what's the point, we'll get into this in a second, but what's the point of being monogamous to somebody and giving them the leverage over my companionship needs? Do you know what I'm saying? That's all it does. So it's like, I am monogamous to this girl. It's like, okay, she has a bad day at work and it's my problem now. She has some issues with her parents. It's my problem now. She has some issues with her siblings. My problem. She has an issue with her car. My problem. So it's like, or it's like, now I'm thinking, it's like, or what if I have like 2 or 3 girlfriends, or situationships? What if I have 3 or 4 girlfriends? Okay, this one is having car problems. I'll be like, sounds like a you problem. What are you doing tonight? Oh, you're being super sweet and there's no issues right now? Come on over. And now it's like, if you think about it that way, it's like, what's the downside there? It's like you eliminate the need, or you eliminate the entire leverage equation altogether. Because it's like, well, I'm not monogamous to you, so if you're having issues, I can cast you aside and just get what I want more often. And then some people might say that's very selfish, but you gotta think, a woman would do that to you too. Well, actually, any human would. Your friends would, a woman would, anybody would do that to you too, wouldn't they? It's like everyone's just kind of, there doesn't seem to be any, let me put it this way. Your chivalry and your honor doesn't seem to be rewarded in 2026 or in general. Because especially with women, man, because, okay, let's play devil's advocate for a second. Her car breaks down and you go fix it. Or you go pick her up, you go rescue her. Because you're in a monogamous relationship, so she has the leverage on your intimacy. And now, it's your job as her boyfriend to go solve her fucking problems, right? So you do. And then everything goes back to normal, and you get your intimacy back and you get your affection back. Cool. But what happens next time, and the next time, and the next time. Now all of a sudden, she stops being grateful for you rescuing her. Now she expects it. Now all of a sudden, her car breaks down, and she's not even worried anymore because she's got you on the hook. And some people might call that a functional relationship, but I disagree, because the guy with the higher value and the higher skill sets is always going to be used for his skill sets and his security. So then it's like, now you're 10 years deep with this girl, and she just expects you with no gratitude to rescue her from all of her problems. And then you might get sex once a year if you're a good husband. What? Bro, or this is some red pilling shit, dude. It's ridiculous. And then you're like, so the point I'm trying to make there, you are an honorable man, you are chivalrous, and you protect your girl, and you rescue her. And you are rewarded with sex once a year, baby. You are rewarded with take out the trash, pick up the garbage. You want to know a funny thing that I was having this conversation with my girlfriend the other night. Something similar, not this exactly, but something similar, right? And I asked her the question. It's very related. Check this out, okay? So I told her, I was like, okay, because women have this thing, well, this is a topic for another video. Women have this thing where they don't like seeing their men not doing anything, right? We talked about this on our live stream this last Saturday. And women have this like gross ick or aversion to a man like taking a nap or not working, right? They just have this thing in them, right? So I asked my girl, I'm like, would you be mad if we lived together and you had to go to work for 8 hours a day and I got to stay home all day? Because I do, I'm a YouTuber, right? I'm a self-employed YouTuber, so I stay home all the time. I gym at home here, right? I'm on the treadmill. And I never leave the house. So I was like, would that bother you, the fact that you have to go to work and I get to stay home? And she's like, this is fascinating. Check this out. She said it would only bother her if things at home weren't getting done while she was at work. And then I was like, that's a trap. Because think about it. And I literally told her this. Think about it. So I'm like, so it doesn't matter that I might be working at home 8 hours a day, but now it's because I am home, it's my responsibility to clean up after you too now. And then she's like, that's not what I meant. I'm like, whoa, like, hold on. I'm like, so me being a self-employed YouTuber, I earned the right to be in this position, right? Well, think about it. So during the pandemic, I grinded 16 hours a day on my tech channel, got that one successful, and now I get to stay home and be self-employed. So I earned the right to be here. I earned the right to do this, to be on my treadmill and film videos, right? So now, because I earned the right to be here, currently, I only have to pick up after my own laundry and my own dishes. So if I move in, if a girl moves in with me because I'm monogamous, and now it's a leverage play, right? If I'm monogamous to this girl or committed, and her happiness is now contingent on my affection needs, I've now earned the right to clean up after her too. Let that sink in. So me grinding and being a successful man, if I ever let a woman move in with me, I am now punished by taking care of her nonsense. I essentially get punished with more work. The more competent you are, the more work that gets thrust upon you by others. And I literally told her this, and she couldn't like fathom that that's what that was, right? She said, yeah, but it's not that much work to take out the laundry of one person versus two. Like she's thinking about it from a man hours perspective, not from like a principal's perspective. So I'm like, yeah, it really doesn't take that much effort to do dishes for two people or whatnot. But if you just never move in with me, I just never have to do it. So why would I? Think about it. So it's like, again, in fact, I could hire a maid to do all this shit for me for less hassle and grief than it would be to let her move into my house. For what? For affection. Do you know what I'm saying? So again, it's like this thing that you can't unsee now, where it's like the more successful you become, and the less you need things from other people. So put it this way: if I was starving for affection, or if I was starving for attention from women, I would be much more likely to engage in that topic, right? I'd be like, oh yeah, you can move in because I would like you to be over at my house all the time so that I could get more affection. But if I'm like, well, if I have 3 or 4 girlfriends, I can just be like, I'm not gonna clean up after you. Don't have to. I'll just call the next one and then I get my affection needs met without having to take care of another human. And then you're like, holy shit, those guys were right all along, dude. They were right all along. So it's like, never be monogamous, never live with them, don't get married to them. And it's like, on some level, you almost wish that you stayed blue pill, because you're like, I just don't want to know this stuff, man. But now that I know this stuff, I'm like, I guess hookers are in my future, maybe. This is insane, dude. It's insane, because like, I truly don't want to be punished for being successful. That's what it comes down to. It's kind of like the Canadian tax system, right? The more money you make, the more you get taxed, which makes you not want to be successful. It's like, I earned the right to be where I'm at, and if I ever enter into a monogamous situation with a female, the only thing that really happens is I get punished for it. There's no reward. Do you know what I'm saying? In fact, you lose. Listen, if you become monogamous with a girl, she has less sex with you. She shows you less affection. The more security the girl has, the less sweet she is to you. So it's like, okay then, well, I guess I'm just gonna be that Peter Pan syndrome dude, where I'm like 50 years old and single, because no matter what I do, I essentially get punished for entering any kind of monogamous situation. And that's dating in 2026, fam. So it's like, if you are a younger guy in your 20s, mid-20s or whatever, you don't really have to worry about the stuff that I talked about in this video, because you don't have shit, right? So in fact, now is the time you actually do want to be monogamous, so that you can grow with a partner together, and then you can earn the rights to do nothing together. So it doesn't, it's not when you're 40 years old will it feel like, if you enter into a partnership with anybody, it's always going to be skewed towards them and the leverage, right? That's kind of where I'm at. So unless I'm dating like a streamer girl that plays video games all like I guess I gotta date OnlyFans chicks or some shit. This is whack, dude. So it's like, unless I date a girl that's home all day and that's richer than me, we're always gonna encounter this problem of leverage. It's odd, dude. It's a weird problem to have. Anyway, I wanted to talk about this one today. Hit that subscribe button, man. This one stumps me. I'm gonna have more conversations with my girlfriend about this topic just because I just want to see what and then I'm actually going to a few birthday parties this month, so I'll talk to the girls about it there too, and I'll report back, okay? I'll report back. If you like this content, scroll down, hit that subscribe button, guys. If you can relate to this shit, and I'll see you guys in the next one.